I want to teach you everything you need to do to get in the best shape of your life. I'm telling you right now, it's easier than it may seem. It's a lot easier than it may seem. You just have to understand the fundamentals of what you should be doing to get what you want from your physique. I'm going to break everything down as we go along. All you got to do is drop your questions. I just want to point you in all the right directions. If you really listen to what I'm saying, I'm going to give you the game you need to make quick changes. I'm talking about quick changes when it comes down to your physique. First thing, a lot of people fail to realize you have to come up with your X factor. Why is it so important for you to get in shape now? Why is it so important for you to get in shape now? Why is now so important? That's going to be important. People miss this. If you don't have an X factor, it's a lot easier just to fall out. And what I mean by fall out is find yourself not being consistent with it. You have to have a reason why. The reason why is going to trump you needing to be motivated, because you're going to have the discipline required to really get what you want. So you need to find out what's your X factor. For me, when I first started my fitness journey, once again, I was only 90 pounds. I was tired of being skinny. That was the first thing. I was tired of being skinny. Me being skinny was still out of shape at the end of the day. So for me, I said, you know what? We need to tighten up. My X factor was I was tired of being skinny. A new haircut wasn't doing nothing. A new outfit wasn't doing anything. You need to find out what your X factor is so you can move in the directions that you want to. Your X factor, once again, when the motivation run dry, is going to allow you to stay disciplined and keep going to build the physique that you want. So I need you to do me a favor. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm tired of being tired. Now is the time to get busy. The reason why I say this is because if you don't get what you want within the first month, all you're going to do is make adjustments. You're going to figure out what didn't work and what I can do to make the changes necessary to really get what I want. I appreciate you tapping that screen, by the way. So remember, X factor is going to be key. A lot of people overlook. It says you're jacked. I appreciate that. And crazy thing is, this is me out of shape. You saying I'm jacked now, this is me out of shape. Give me 2 months. I'm about to get busy again. I've been working like crazy. Been working like crazy. Yo, you're strong. I'm almost as strong as you. I'm working out. I'm working on every day. I'm just like you, but both. I'm still going to school. I'm going to write. I feel it. Hey, I feel it. If you just like me, it is what it is. I ain't mad at you. Just keep doing what you do. For me, I always tell people this. I got 3 children, so if you out of shape, you ain't got no excuse. I got 3 children under 5. Everybody can get in great shape, and I think some people kind of miss that. I'm just giving you some things that I want you to do. It says, do you use pre-workout? No, I don't use pre-workout at all. I don't do any pre-workout. I don't take any protein shakes. I don't do creatine. I don't do none of that. I'm a gardener, so I am very, very conscious about what's in my food. So I always try my best to get premium foods. I try to eat as premium as possible. I try to eat as premium as possible. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, no pre-workouts for me. I don't drink coffee either. I rarely drink tea. If it's not like an iced tea or something like that, for real, I'm not the person that just because I don't drink coffee, I drink tea. That ain't a thing for me. I do a lot of cold pressed drinks. Me and my family, we do sell cold pressed juices. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. When I was really into taking things like BCAAs, I used to laugh. I would laugh at where I'm at right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would laugh at where I'm at right now. And why I say this is because I didn't even believe cold pressed juices was as solid as they actually are. Me personally, cold pressed juices changed my life because it made me realize a lot of the things that we feel as though really that we think is giving us energy ain't really giving us energy. And there's a lot of things that you can actually consume naturally that are going to give you the same benefits. Like for me, my coffee is beets. I drink a lot of beets. We have a drink called Beets Power that have beets, carrots, and ginger. And when we talk about the veins popping out like NO2, trying to tell you right now, the Beats Power going to get you where you want to be. Another thing that I love about the Beats Power is if you somebody that's trying to work on your cardiovascular endurance, the Beats Power is going to definitely help you take that to a whole nother level. So everything I do, just to let y'all know, and I always say, if you haven't already, definitely tap into my profile. You'll see what I do. I garden. Me and my family, we garden. So we don't even buy a lot of our produce from the grocery store. We actually grow a lot of our produce: lettuce, peppers, onions, beets, peas, watermelon. We have a raspberry bush. Raspberry bush taking a little bit of time. Raspberry bush can take up to a year to actually grow. Some of these things take time, but like I said, if you do what you do, you do what you do. It says, do you do push-ups? Yeah, I do push-ups occasionally. Excuse me. Excuse me. I do push-ups occasionally. I'm not somebody that's going to do 500, 300 push-ups. Currently, what I'm doing when it comes down to my personal routine is I'm actually doing a lot of machines. The only thing that I don't do machine is barbell squats, and I use the hex bar for deadlifts. So that's the only thing I haven't been doing machine based. Everything else I do machine. Like I said, I do squats. I just finished the 30-day squat challenge. For me, I would say for those who do want to work on legs, 30-day squat challenge will definitely help you move in all the right directions. So just finished the 30-day squat challenge. Now we moving on to the 30 days of cardio, because a lot of people don't realize how important cardio is, mainly for those who are trying to get stronger. But when it comes down to push-ups, like I said, I do push-ups, but it's not something that I'm just knocking out. I'll superset clap push-ups is something that I do just to make it a little bit more intense. I'll superset like 10 clap push-ups if I'm doing like bicep curls or like a rowing machine or anything to that nature. But a lot of what I do right now, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, is definitely coming from machines. It's definitely coming from machines. I will be moving into dumbbells, not this month, but next month. Starting August, I'll start doing dumbbells again. But in the meantime, I'm strictly machines. My physique has been built off eating good and using machines and maximizing my cardio. I do cardio 2 to 3 times a week for the most part. I play basketball, so basketball is my cardio for the most part. And then going from there, I was doing pickleball, but I'm cutting out pickleball now, so I won't be playing pickleball like that. Because to be real with you, pickleball, I don't like the community of people that are at the gym that I actually train at for pickleball. Pickleball is something I never would have picked up on, to be real with you. Every time I was going to the gym, I was noticing that the court was shut down, and who was on the court? The people that played pickleball. So after a while, I was like, you know what? Let me see what I can get from pickleball, and I decided to take it up. It's been fun, but after something I experienced with playing with the pickleball community at my gym, I'm like, these ain't really my type of people. So I kind of moved on from the pickleball. Basketball, I will still be incorporating 2 to 3 times a week, so I still do cardio. I do abs before my workout, so I generally do 2 to 3 exercises of abs before I get into my routine, and then kind of go from there. It says, can you do a push-up right now? And I ain't doing all of that. You can watch the video if you want to see me do a push-up. I've already spent more than enough time doing push-ups. I'm not that type of guy, just to let you know. But by the way, I came here to teach you, for one, how to get in great shape fast. A lot of people think that they need supplements to get in great shape. A lot of people think that they need to up their protein intake in order to get in great shape. There's so many things that you need to do in order to get in great shape. And I'm telling you right now, you ain't got to do all the extra that you think you need. If you follow these basic guidelines, you'll be able to get that and then some at the end of the day. So do understand one thing. 3 things you need to tap into if you really want to get in great shape. There's 3 things I'm going to teach you that you really need to tap into if you really want to get in great shape. The first thing you need to tap into is going to be your recovery. Recovery is key. You cannot maximize your performance if you do not maximize your recovery. There's so many things that fall into this recovery aspect. One of those things is going to be making sure you get an adequate amount of sleep. Try to get as close to all the stages of sleep as you can. That's going to be very important to make sure you're getting quality sleep, because there's a lot of people out here that might get 8 hours of sleep, but it's not 8 hours of quality sleep. It might be interrupted. So be mindful. This can tamper with you being able to reach all your stages of sleep. Another thing that plays into recovery is going to be foam rolling, stretching, massage gun. All of these things are going to help deload a lot of the tension that you're putting from not just from your workouts, from your day-to-day life and lifestyle. So we need to make sure that we tighten up on what? Our recovery. The only way I'm able to look like how I look is not just from the workouts and not just from the nutrition, but it's all about maximizing my recovery as well. It's going to be very, very, very important. So I need you to stay on top of your recovery. Recovery is going to be key. Another form of recovery is going to be your rest days. You need to make sure that you're giving your body an adequate amount of rest and take some days off. People love to think that if I train 6-7 days a week, that at the end of the day, I'll get better results. But that's not always the case if, once again, you're not maximizing your recovery. More days at the end of the day can lead to you what? Breaking down the body more, which can lead to increasing the chances of you getting injured. So I need to make sure at the end of the day that we just not in the gym all day, every day. We need to make sure we maximize our off days as well. And this is where your split going to come into play. Depending on what split you pick, it's going to dictate how much area is getting enough rest, as well as how many off days should you schedule in. It's nothing wrong if right now you working out 3 days a week. It's nothing wrong with you working out 3 days a week. But I always say this, the more time you invest into it, my cap is always going to be 5 days. The more time you invest into it, the more you can get from it at the end of the day. So do not fall a victim to thinking that if I work out 7 days a week, that I'm going to get better results. So be mindful of that. Another thing we need to pay attention to, which is going to be number 2, is going to be your nutrition. I tell people this all the time. We started off the live with this. You can't out-train a bad diet or bad habits. You can't. You can't out-train it. So at some point, even if right now you're dealing with using some type of binging system, meaning, I mean, when I say binging, I mean binging, but you using some type of fast diet to accelerate your results, do understand you can go right back to where you started if you still haven't built a healthier relationship with food. Do not jump into these crash diets. Do me a favor, do not jump into these crash diets. You crash dieting, it's not going to build the physique that you want at the end of the day. We need to be real. We need to be real on that. So I need you to understand. You can get exactly what you want. You can get exactly what you want as long as you stay consistent, starting with, remember, recovery. Recovery is easily overlooked because if you're somebody like myself, like I said, I got 3 children, and on top of that, I have 3 businesses that I need to make sure I'm on top of. So I have to prioritize when I can work out. I have to prioritize my recovery time as well, so that way I can maximize the results that I want. It's a lot easier to get what you want if you have an effective system. Just be mindful of that. Just be mindful of that. It makes things so much easier. Another thing when it comes down to nutrition that you need to pay attention to is you have to understand the difference between low-tier food, mid-tier food, and high-tier food. I need us to understand that. I'm going to repeat that again. Low-tier food, mid-tier food, and high-tier food. So you got to look at food like gas for the most part. A lot of people fail to realize this. You got to look at food like gas. You got to look at food like gas at the end of the day. Once you realize food is like gas, you can easily understand that you can get more of what you want. You can get more of what you want as long as you know what purpose it serves within eating it. A good example is like sugar, right? A lot of people say sugar is a bad thing, which don't get me wrong, of abundance it is, but you got to look at one thing. When you go to the hospital, you need to get hydrated. What do you think they put in the IV? The IV is primarily sugar. You get what I'm saying? So we have to understand the pros and the cons of intaking these things and understand that there are different tiering systems. Once again, high fructose syrup is a low tier level of sugar in comparison to raw cane sugar. Too much of that at the end of the day, when it comes down too much of sugar anyway, is going to help you, for one, gain weight with ease, mainly if we don't have activity to burn it off. It's another reason why a lot of people load on a bunch of weight from Starbucks. They don't realize that a lot of the beverages that they consuming 500, 600, 700 calories, and it ain't nothing but a bunch of sugar. Same concept but Dunkin' Donuts. You go to Dunkin' Donuts, you get the iced coffee. Not only are they already adding something extra that has sugar in it already, but then guess what? You get sugar on top of sugar on top of sugar on top of sugar. So I need us to understand sugar does serve a purpose, because we see bodybuilders at local gyms in the middle of their sets eating Skittles, crushing M&Ms, crushing Sour Patches. I see it on a regular basis. But once again, we do have to understand the pros and cons. And we see the bodybuilders doing this because guess what? They work out too much. We see the people that want to lose the weight need to stay away from this because they consume entirely too much with not enough activity. So I need us to understand what we're consuming is always going to be relevant. It's always going to be relevant at the end of the day to what we're trying to get out of what we're consuming. So look at food as gas in layman's terms. Food is gas. That's all it really is at the end of the day. Food is gas. If you see, another thing we see all the time is bodybuilders, once they finish their little shows and things of that nature. I'm just using bodybuilders as an example. Not saying that we should be following bodybuilders, but I'm just using bodybuilders as an example. You may see them crush a dozen donuts. You get where I'm going? We have to understand there's a time and a place for everything, but we also need to understand what purpose does it serve. Another good example is I keep seeing a low carbohydrate. Yes, low carbs is going to work for some people because of digestive health, but we need to understand low carbs is not for everybody. Instead of you cutting your carbs, you just need to build a healthier relationship with food. A lot of people don't realize carbohydrates aren't just bread, pasta, and rice, which most people consume, and those are the most enriched or processed things. Me and my family just did a recent test on, we bought 3 different brands of bread. 2 of them were so-called fresh. One of them was we just grabbed off the shelf for the most part. And I'm gonna tell you, even one of those that was considered fresh, we still waiting for it to mold. It's 3 months in and we still waiting for this bread to mold. So I just want to give you a full understanding that at the end of the day, everything isn't for everybody, and you have to understand what's in your food. Another reason why I always say when it comes down to nutrition, instead of just weighing it out or counting the calories, why don't you take the time to actually read the ingredients? That's going to make a big difference. Read the ingredients. The ingredients are going to show you so much you may not even realize at the end of the day. The ingredients are going to show you so much, and what you can get more out of if you understand what you're consuming. These companies are getting smarter and smarter because they see that you're getting more educated. They understand that now you want things organic. They understand that now you want not just organic, you want things that's all natural. You want things that's grass fed. So they do understand these companies are going to adjust, and what are they going to do? They're going to do what they want as long as it stays within guidelines. So some of these things may be labeled this thing, but once you turn it around, you'll be able to see like, this ain't even what you thought it was at the end of the day. So I need us to be mindful that you can get more out of your nutrition if you understand what you're putting in your body. Another reason why I tell y'all, eating healthy is not expensive. Eating healthy is not expensive. The only thing that you fail to realize is you haven't made it a priority, or you really still don't know what to eat. And that's something that I want to help you with. If you don't know what to eat, that's not a problem. But to say eating out is expensive is ludicrous. Because the average person that I hear that says eating out is expensive, you know what they're doing? They ordering DoorDash. They ordering Uber Eats. If anything, that's expensive if you ask me. If you spending $7 to $10 on a drink, that's expensive. I want you to understand that. And then if you're spending that type of money and it's not even doing nothing but making you fat, that's a whole nother situation. And that's what we're doing a lot of, mainly when it comes down to these drinks, when it comes down to coffee. Coffee, for my coffee people, you always need sugar and cream. That's the first thing they ask you. How many sugars do you want? How many creams do you want? You don't think that you have to work these things off? That's one thing I want y'all to understand. You got to work this shit off. That's the thing. You got to work this stuff off. And that's something I don't want you to do. I don't want you to focus on working it off because it shouldn't be in your body in the first place. It shouldn't be in your body in the first place. So we need to be more educated about the things that we're doing. It says black coffee only. I feel it. You go hard for the black coffee. I'm not going to lie to you on that. It's not a lot of people that can handle black coffee. But once again, for my coffee drinkers that keep loading their coffees up with cream and sugar, and we wonder why we still can't get rid of this so-called stubborn belly fat, is because of that. It's because of that. You're not paying attention to what you're consuming. It's something I saw yesterday. I actually brought some sour Skittles, dog, and it made me realize how many carbs is in Skittles, a pack. How many carbohydrates? A lot of people don't notice little things like that. And for those who may not notice this might be the perfect time for you to do what? You might need to take the time. You might need to take the time and log what you're consuming in. That goes for your foods as well as your drinks. Get a little app like MyFitnessPal, log everything you've consumed in for the past 3 to 4 days. And let's see at the end of the day how these things are hurting us. Because some of us are putting in the work. I see some people putting in the work and they getting frustrated like, I'm still not seeing what I want to see. I'm still not getting what I want to get. Why I don't see the physique that I want to see? Because you still may not realize how much sugar in what you eat. Sugar's in damn near everything nowadays. From the bread to the pasta, sugar's in everything. So I want you to understand, you can still get more of what you want. You just have to understand how to go about it. And eating is definitely something that you're always gonna have to work on. So if you find yourself not being able to fit these voids when it comes down to your food, it's okay. Slow and steady wins the race. Focus on getting 1% better every day. I have clients that I start off with them still eating what they're eating right now. And I'm going to tell you one thing, they're more likely to make the adjustments the second month because they got results just from working out. There's a lot of people that work out. You get what I'm saying? And they work out and then they make all of these cuts and changes when they first start. And then 3 months in, they kind of like, I don't even think me giving up what I gave up is worth where I'm at right now. So I always say, if you somebody that really wants to get in great shape, slow and steady wins the race. And then what you'll realize is, first month you got good results, still kind of doing some of the same things you did. You will get more excited about eliminating more of this stuff the second month. Second month, you're like, nah, I can't fake. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm trying to get busy. I'm trying to get right. You get what I'm saying? Third month, you like, I'm not gonna fake. I can give up a little bit more. Because the thing is, this will make working out a little bit challenging. And most people don't realize this, is that you have to, at the end of the day, you have to shock the body. You got to trick the body. The body is memorizing everything that you're putting it through. The body is memorizing everything that you're putting it through. So in order to really get what you want, you have to consistently shock the body. But people overlook what shocking the body is. Don't overcomplicate shocking the body, because shocking the body can be as simple as you moving from machine chest press to now doing dumbbell chest press. Shocking the body can be you going from machine dumbbell press to barbell dumbbell press. Shocking the body can be you using machine press and instead of even switching the equipment, you can slow down the tempo and you can increase the weight at that point. That's naturally going to shock the body. So I do want you to understand, you don't have to overcomplicate shocking the body when it comes down to getting what you want from your trainer. I need you to understand the basics build the foundation, and most people, for the most part, don't set realistic goals. I want you to take the time out of your day to understand, are you setting realistic short-term goals as well as realistic long-term goals? And what I mean by this is, your long-term goal can be, I want to lose 100 pounds. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Your short-term goal can be, I want to be able to run at least 1 mile in under 15 minutes. That can be your next short-term goal. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about you creating a short-term goal, you want to make your short-term goal realistic, but at the same time, it should complement whatever your long-term goal is. So right now, like I said, you trying to lose 100 pounds, but yet you trying to run at least 1 mile in under 15 minutes. Do understand one thing. We can work towards getting to that mile in 15 minutes. And the fact that you're working on your cardio is going to allow you to do what? Help you lose some of this weight that you want to get off. It's going to get you closer to dropping that total of 100 pounds. So remember, we need to set not just long-term goals and short-term goals. We need to make sure they're realistic and they complement each other. Like I said, your short-term goal within hitting it, it should feel like a checkpoint in a race. So if you racing and we got to go through 4 checkpoints until we get to the finish line, You can set 4 short-term goals that's going to allow you to get to, guess what? Your long-term goal. And once again, what I mean by this is the first one could have been 15 a mile in under 15 minutes. The second goal could have been, okay, I'm noticing that I've upped my cardio, but I'm not doing resistance training. I need to do resistance training at least 3 times a week. That's your next short-term goal. So if you completed the gym for at least a month and you noticing at the end of the day that you've been able to do your 3 times a week, now we can maybe push it towards you doing 4 times a week. Like I said, I like to do 4 to 5 times a week if you're really trying to get in great shape. But do understand, now we can move the next goal, because now you've been working out with the machines, dumbbells, whatever you chose to use for your resistance training for that first month. Now guess what we can do? The second goal could be, you know what? When I squat, I want to squat at least 135 with the barbell. Or when I use this machine for chest press, I want to work up to 100 pounds because I'm only at 40 pounds right now. Those are things that are going to keep you moving the envelope. And like I said, look at your short-term goals like checkpoints. I think people fail to realize how critical short-term goals can be in the long run. But I need you to understand, these things can really help you hit your goals and help you hit your goals with ease. And like I said, when that scale may not be moving, you're not frustrated because you're seeing some type of improvement. Because one thing a lot of people don't realize when it comes down to either losing weight or gaining muscle, you don't just go straight up. Sometimes it's like the stock market. You might go up, you might go down, you might go up, you might go down, because there's 3 areas you always need to focus on. Like I said before, that's going to be your recovery, your nutrition, and your training. And I tell people this all the time. If you slip on one of those following areas, then guess what's going to happen? We're going to start slipping on potential results that we can actually get. So I need us to understand these things are going to help us move in all the right directions, but you have to be realistic, because at the end of the day, if you're not realistic when it comes down to setting your goals, all it's going to do is leave you frustrated and saying this is a waste of time for me. And I don't want you to waste your time. Another reason why I say focus on getting at least 1% better every day. I'm telling y'all right now, I've been able to work past so many people when it came down to my personal fitness goals. Is because I was always focusing on doing a short-term goal and a long-term goal. And my first thought was, let me see improvements in all of these areas before I can say I did everything that I can. Because everybody loves to say, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this. But what are you not doing? It's something that you're not doing because you're not getting the results that you want. It's not that it's genetics, because I'm tired of the genetic shit. I'm over the genetics. I say this all the time. The average person is not even working hard enough to even know if it's their genetics that's limited. Let's keep it above. Let's keep it real. The average person, I work out at the gym and I train clients in the gym, and I'm telling y'all right now, even going to the gym, it's only 80% of the people around you that's really I'm not going to say 80%, it's only 20% of the people that's really in the gym really putting in work. Let's keep it real. It's only 20% of the people in the gym that's really putting in work. A lot of other people are not going to the gym to work out. They're going to socialize. Mainly when you start spending a little bit more money on your clubs, like a Lifetime, Equinox. Some of them are just, they want to do a little bit of cardio, but they ain't really there to network. And you don't want to fall a victim to that if you're somebody that's really trying to get in great shape. Another thing you need to pay attention to is your gym, your atmosphere, your community. Is your community conducive to your lifestyle? And I say this because I've taken clients to Gold's Gym, and my client's like, bro, this is too much for me, bro. You look beside you, you see somebody squatting 500 pounds. You look to the left of you, now you see somebody benching 315 for 20 reps. Like, that can be too much for some people. And I understand why some people don't want to work with trainers that are in great shape. But I want y'all to understand. One thing. You just need to go to where you feel comfortable when it comes down to your training. But I want you to understand too, if you just go in there and you noticing that you're lollygagging, that can be a downfall too. It says just had to switch gym because of the environment. I feel it. I'm somebody that's in great shape, and I'm gonna be real with you. When I first when the world opened back up, the first place I went to was Planet Fitness. I'm not gonna fake it. I went to Planet Fitness to work out. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with Planet Fitness, because I've noticed that depending on what area you in, some are good, some are bad. You know what I'm saying? But the area I was in, I was working, I was focused, I was locked in. But when I was going in there to train some of my clients, I'm gonna be real with y'all, it's too much foolery. Even my clients are asking me like, why is this person running on the treadmill like this, making all of this noise? You have to understand, when you're going and you're paying a certain price for some of these memberships, you're going to have access to some wild scenarios too, because you're paying a specific price. I always tell people, you spend $64 to almost $400 a month, and some of y'all might be like, oh my God, $300, $400 a month for a gym membership is too much. You ain't been there to understand the difference. Some of the difference are valid. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Some of the difference is valid. Like, you going to LA Fitness, you don't got to worry about you going to LA Fitness. You might see people fighting on the damn basketball court, or two people arguing over nothing in the middle of the floor. You're not going to see that at a gym that you paying $100+ for. I'm just letting you know that right now. If you paying $200-$300 a month, you're not going to see that. You're not going to see anybody wanting to fight anybody. If anything, you're going to get inspired like a motherfucker. Some of these people that's paying $300 a month for these gyms, I'm telling you right now, they got the bread. And the energy is completely different. So I want you to understand, your gym environment does play a huge role in the results that you can get. I've been to some Planet Fitness gyms, and I'm like, I'm not for this today. I can't deal with it. Like, I'm noticing it's a bunch of foolery going on. It's a bunch of kids hanging around because it's summertime, and they just, hogging the machines. You gotta be realistic to a lot of these things. And if you're noticing that this is kind of throwing you off from wanting to go and not wanting to go, or when you get there, you can't get your workout in because none of the equipment is available, it might be time to change gyms. And for those who don't realize this, you can always open up a guest pass. Just look at the gyms that's in your area and try it out for a day, or try it out for 3 days. Some people still offer 3 days. Some people offer a week. You know what I'm saying? Try the gym out to see if it fits what you're looking for. Because once again, your gym is your community. A lot of people don't realize, whatever gym you go into, like for those who are overweight, I hear this all the time. Like, I don't feel comfortable going to the gym. I want to work out at home, and everybody worried about me. I'm going to tell you one thing. If you open a gym membership at the right place, and you 300 pounds, 400 pounds, and you really working to lose weight, somebody going to pull up to you and like, yo, I see you working and you doing a great job. That's the community that I'm talking about. That's community that I'm talking about. You're not going to get that at every gym. You're not. It doesn't exist at some gyms. And everybody that goes to the gym ain't worried about you. I see that's the thing that people love to think, oh, they looking at me and they worried about me. That's not the case for most gyms. They're not worried about you. They worried about them. They trying to get right. You get what I'm saying? It says, do you think I could build a chest by doing push-ups, low reps, by how? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not the person that's going to say do 100 push-ups. I feel like push-ups after a while is a waste of time. It's me personally, because it puts so much strain on your rotator cuff. It's like, why do we want to put so much stress on ligaments and tendons and joints from just repetitively doing something? And we can easily break the body down faster by lifting something a little bit heavier. So when it comes down to me, I always say this. I'm not the body weight specialist. Like, I'm not the person that's just doing calisthenics. I lift weights. The easiest way to build a physique, in my opinion, is by opening a gym membership. No gym is charging you $64 a month and spending $3,000 on a piece of equipment if that piece of equipment is useless. So I always like to say, if you want to get my best advice, I haven't built my physique from doing 1,000 push-ups. I built my physique by lifting weight, and as the weight got easier, I made it heavier. So if I noticed that I went to the gym and like, for example, when I first started off in my fitness journey, I could barely lift the bar. The barbell is 45 pounds. I could barely lift the bar for 3 sets of 10 reps. You get what I'm saying? So me personally, when it comes down to it, my objective when I go to the gym is, if something becomes easier, what do? We slow it down with the tempo, or we increase the weight. It says you recommend reps 10 to 15. I recommend both. I do both. I don't do one. I don't just do lightweight, high reps. I do both. I lift heavy and I lift, I'm not gonna say I even lift light, I lift moderate. Anything I would consider as light would be body weight at some point. But if body weight is something that you're struggling with, then what I always recommend is start off with the machines, work your way up. I'm the person that goes to the gym, uses dumbbells, I use the machines. For the last 3 months, all I've been doing is straight machines. That's all I've been doing is straight machines. A lot of people love to think machines are for beginners, machines are for beginners. Two things I start off with machines with. One, if I haven't worked out in a long time, I always start off with machines. Secondly, another thing I do is, if it's a point that I'm trying to get stronger, I start off with machines first and then transition into dumbbells or barbells. Because what the machine does is allow me to understand, one, I don't have to fight for good form or good technique because the machine does all of that work for me. But it allows me to keep the tension in the area that I'm breaking down. So if I notice that if I'm going up with weight and I'm struggling with using it in the machine, then I'm like, yeah, I ain't ready for the dumbbells yet, because the dumbbells, you got to do all the work by yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I do a mixture of both. I'm not a fan of 1 rep max. I've never done 1 rep max a day in my life. Every time I lift personally, even when it's heavy, my objective is to do at least my minimum of what I'm really trying to lift is 10 reps for me personally. If it's by some chance I couldn't get the 10 reps and I got the 5, then at that point, all I'm going to do is a drop set from there. So say, for example, I'm chest pressing and I start off with 50 pound dumbbells. Then I jump to 75, and then from 75 I jump to 100. But when I get to 100, I'm not able to do 10 reps. I'm only able to do 5 or 6. What I'm gonna do from that point is I'm just gonna drop set back down. So I'm gonna do the 75s again, and I'm gonna try to do a whole another 10 if I can. Then after that, if I can do more than 10, then I'm gonna crank out a little bit more than 10. Then when I drop to the next weight, I won't drop all the way down to 50. Then I might do 60 from the 75 at that point. If I do 75, same thing. I'm trying to get at least 10 reps. But me personally, I don't do 1 rep max or anything to that nature. If I do 5, it's just because I went up with the weight and I couldn't do what I thought I can do. But then going from there, like I said, when I get to that top set, because generally that's the heaviest weight at that point, then I'll drop set from there. Drop set is always helped me because I like to be conditioned and strong at the same time. That's something I'm big with. It says, what's a good workout split? A good workout split is something simple as push-pull legs. Always remember, the whole point of workout splits is, 1, to shock the body, and 2, to be able to maximize your rest. Meaning, if I work chest on Monday, I shouldn't be hitting chest again until the chest fully recovers. So me personally, I always kind of stick by a lot of push-pull and legs. That's one of my standards. I might switch it up here and there with doing like a push-pull day mixed together, or I might do a full body workout all together. But I live and die by push-pull legs. That's always been me. On my so say for example, 3 days out of that week, of course, is push-pull legs. What my objective is on those 3 days is to lift as heavy as I can on those 3 days when I'm doing push, because remember, push is when you're working chest, shoulders, and triceps. All of those areas are hit together. When you're doing pull is just back and biceps. And then when you hit legs, it's glutes, hamstrings, quads, and calves. So my objective is to hit all of those areas very effectively from the exercises that I choose within these days. On my fourth day might be an active rest day, because 9 to 10 when I do an active rest day, I like to do it on Sundays for the most part, to kind of work me back into my week, to see how my body feels, and really to incorporate the exercises within areas I need to see more development, or exercises I've noticed I've been neglecting. Like me personally, I'm gonna be real with y'all, I'm not a big fan of doing hip thrusts with a barbell. I like doing hip thrusts with the machine. So me personally, if I've noticed that I'm only at a location where they only do barbells, I might skip that. But when it comes down to my active rest day, I'm going to go to a gym where they're going to have the plate, where they're going to where I can put the plates on there, or I'm going to just take the L at that point and then set up the barbell. But me personally, I hate barbell hip thrusts. I hate setting up that shit. It's just a thing for me. I just hate that shit. That and deadlifts. I hate setting up deadlifts. That's another reason why I might structure it to a point that a gym I can't really get to. Like, for example, for me, Golds is like 30 to 40 minutes away from me. So I have a little bit more availability on the weekends. So what I'll do on the weekends is I'll set time and go to those particular gyms to be able to knock out those type of exercises on that Saturday or Sunday on my active rest day. And then say for example another day may be just me hitting legs one more time, because I feel like people fail to realize how important it is to get your legs stronger. Me personally, I do need to start working back in the front squats. I've been bullshitting on front squats, but I do a mixture of V V squats. I don't know if you know the machine with the black base, and you pull the thing down and it's kind of already set up for you. That's another one. I'm a big fan of barbells in general. I love barbell squats. That's one movement I just love, is just barbell squats. But I need to start doing barbell front squats. And front squats is a whole nother thing. If you somebody that's been doing a lot of barbell back squats and you go crazy with the weight, start transitioning to front squats. Front squats is going to be a tremendous game changer. I'm telling you right now. Front squats is going to be a tremendous game changer if you do it and do it right. So that's another one. Just like I said, just giving you some of what I do. But I always tell y'all, don't focus on what somebody like myself is doing. You need to make sure you're designing, or having a trainer like myself design a program for you so it's specifically for you and fit your needs. Because if you haven't addressed muscle imbalances, all of them saying at the end of the day could just be, thrown off with a grain of salt. You have to make sure your training is reluctant on what? Making sure you address those muscle imbalances so that you can see growth in your program. A lot of us love to think that if we hit the same area over and over and over and over and over again, we'll get better development, when in actuality, we might need to target the secondary area. So for example, you might want a chest, but you're not realizing that you ain't been training back as much as you should. Train the back, and guess what? It's going to help develop the chest. Another thing I always try to get people to understand is, if your body fat percentage isn't low enough anyway, then we do need to understand that we need to lower the body fat percentage to be able to see the muscle that we potentially want to see, or the definition that we're looking for. So if you don't have a low body fat percentage, that's a whole nother thing. It's not about what chest exercise you should be doing. It's always going to be about you making sure you effectively break down your entire body, so that way you can see the development and the growth that you want at the end of the day. So I need us to understand, it's not just about what's the best chest exercise, what's the best back exercise, what's the best split. The main thing you need to focus on when you're trying to develop and build your body is going to be making sure you address all your muscle imbalances. So a good example is, if you notice that you live a very sedentary lifestyle, then what we need to do, we need to start working on hamstrings, glutes, lower back, core. Those are things that can easily get weak just from having a sedentary lifestyle. So those things should be in the front of our program more so than the areas that we want to see improvement in, like chest and arms. Chest and arms are so easy to grow. I always tell people that don't even worry about them when you first start off. Chest and arms are so easy to develop. You shouldn't even really be worrying about doing a lot of chest activity. You need to focus on making sure you effectively train your back, and you need to make sure you effectively hit those legs. That's going to make a huge difference in getting what you want out of your training. If you're not doing that, then guess what? You can be leading yourself in the wrong direction. But once again, it's always about consistency. You need to be consistent. If you want to get more out of your physique, if you want to get more from your training, you need to be consistent on all areas. Nutrition, recovery, and training. All of these things work hand in hand. A lot of people love to focus on one thing, and I always say this: if you focus on one thing, how much are you slipping on the other areas? Once again, you need to focus on your nutrition, your recovery, as well as your training. So if you locking into your training and you noticing that your physique is kind of slipping, you might need to tighten a little bit more up on your recovery as well as your nutrition. Those things are going to help you take things to a whole nother level. I don't want you to play yourself by just thinking that, oh, if I eat good and then you do half-ass training, that you're going to get great results. Yeah, you might lose weight, move in the right direction, but do understand the workouts are really breaking the body down, are going to help develop and build the physique the way that you want it. So I need us to make sure we're doing what? We tighten up on our recovery, our training, as well as our nutrition. Remember, do not stress yourself out about nutrition. Nutrition is something that you always going to need to work on. I'm a trainer myself and understand nutrition my damn self. And I'm still tightening up on my nutrition in areas that I find myself slipping on. You feel me? So don't even get frustrated where it's like, damn, man, I don't know how to eat. I don't know what to eat. The more you understand food, the easier it is for you to understand what you should be eating. Another reason why I say this all the time, what should you be doing? You should be consistently educating yourself about foods and what's in the foods at the end of the day. If you're not doing these things, you're moving in the right direction. You're moving in the right direction. I need y'all to understand you can get more of what you want as long as you know what to do. Do not sell yourself short by thinking, oh, if I just do this, or oh, if I just do that, oh, if I just do this, then I get in a great shape. It's a collective of things that you always need to focus on in order to get in great shape. Make sure you drop some questions. I want some questions, man. I've been giving y'all a lot of game. I want some questions. Like, give me some direct questions. Like, give me some questions. Like, anybody got some questions? I want questions. When you jump on live, remember, I know I'm giving a lot of game, but drop them questions, dog. Drop them questions, man. No questions. No question going once. We had a couple of them. No questions going twice. So I'm going to just give you a quick breakdown again, and then I'm out of here. Remember, you need to tighten up on what? Your nutrition, your training, as well as your recovery. That's going to be important. You need to tighten up. I'm going to repeat it again. On your nutrition, your training, and your recovery. Those things are going to be key in order to get in great shape. Remember, you can get more out of what you want as long as you stay consistent. Find out what your X factor is. Why is it so important for you to get in shape right now? Why is it so important for you to get in shape right now? Is it a point that your doctor told you that much closer to being a diabetic? You got to get it together. Is it a situation where you just overcame a heart attack? Is it a situation where you notice that you're completely overweight and you're sick of it? Whatever your X factor is, you need to lock in on the X factor, because remember, the X factor is going to do what? It's going to allow you to get more comfortable with the adjustments that you need to make, because you looked yourself in the eye and say, damn, I need to make a change. And there's nothing wrong with that. You got to be real with yourself if you're somebody that wants to see great results. But with that said, man, I'm tapping out. We got to get to this work. Make sure you tap in on the next live. Turn on those notifications.